what do we want to do next? Because I know Zeus earlier in pre-production, you're saying you want to end on a happy note, and the news and politics is sort of middling from like happy to not so happy.
Let's
you want to do that first?
Because I think you're gonna have a better. Why don't you do us a favor? Break down the two bills that you were talking about. Right, you know the ones. Break down those two bills, and then we'll go into the a little bit more serious. But I think honestly with the court, we're gonna have more opinions on that one just because of the nature of it, with the court cases. So I'd say let's talk about the bills, because that one I think is gonna be more of a breakdown. We'll do our reactions or whatever, but honestly, I probably won't have too many opinions on it just right now because I'm not 100% privy to like the breakdown of the bill. So why don't you go ahead and do your usual breakdown of good stuff for us? And by us I mean me, because usually he always breaks shit down good for me. So go ahead and break it down, those bills, and then we'll get our reactions on those bills.
Okay, I'll try to run through it pretty quickly. All right, so there have been these two bills that the Democrats have been trying to pass this year. One is called, it used to be a combined bill, and then they decided to separate it out. One is called the Infrastructure Bill. I'm sure there's a better name for it. And then the one's called the Build Back Better Bill. Very alliterative. The Infrastructure Bill passed the Senate quite some time ago with a bipartisan majority. So I think you had 17 Republicans in the Senate actually vote for it. That was
which is really good.
Right, yeah. I mean, it was a filibuster-proof majority. It was something that they felt they could take back to their constituents and say, this is a good thing. And it only just passed the House Monday, after months of being held up in the House. Now, the reason why it was held up in the House is because you had this fight between the progressive Democrats and the moderate Democrats. The moderate Democrats wanted to pass the infrastructure bill, and the progressive Democrats were like, no, we're not going to pass this unless you commit to passing the Build Back Better bill. And the reason why that's important is the Build Back Better bill is the one that the progressives really want. It's the one that Democratic voters really wanted, and it's the one that includes, the clean energy stuff. It's stuff that includes the child tax credits, increasing taxes on the rich, that sort of stuff, right? It's like a progressive's dream. The moderate Democrats were being a little coy about it. They're like, I don't know if we want to pass this. I don't know if I want to send it back to my constituents. So there was a lot of infighting about that. And then what really changed the game was that the CBO score came back. The Congressional Budget Office is independent. They looked at the Build Back Better bill, and they said that basically it would actually reduce the deficit over 10 years. So that made the moderate Democrats, it made them feel like, okay, actually we can support this. And they went and voted for it. And now the Build Back Better bill has passed the House, and so has the infrastructure bill. So the infrastructure bill has passed House and Senate, and Biden has signed it. So that's good, right? So you even have Republican congressmen who voted against it going out and telling their people, oh, this bridge that has been in decay, we'll finally fix it with this money that we're getting for something I didn't vote for. So yeah, hypocrisy. Yeah.
Are you including, is Manchin included in the moderate that you're talking about?
No, so I'm talking about the House Democrats. So
okay, I was gonna say, because you keep saying moderate, and I'm like, he's not moderate, he's conservative Democrat. There's a difference.
Right. So,
very much so.
So I'm talking about the House Democrats. The moderates in the House came around and they were like, okay, we're gonna vote for this Build Back Better bill, and that passed yesterday, Friday, the 19th of November, in the House. It was supposed to be taken up for a vote on the 18th, but then House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy decided that he was going to filibuster and talk for 8
Wasn't
straight
that like
hours.
an eight-hour speech? Oh my God.
Yeah, 8 straight hours. Because the idea is that you want the votes to be done in the dead of the night, so you can say, oh, the other party is doing a vote in the dead of the night. Well, the Democrats are like, no, we'll just come back on Friday. So they came back on Friday. They did the votes, and it was there for all to see. So that was fun. So now it goes to the Senate, And this is where Zeus's friend comes in, Joe Manchin. So the Democrats have a 50-50 majority, right? Because it's 50+1, Kamala Harris being the one. And all it would take is for all 50 Democrats to vote yes on the Build Back Better bill to pass, because Kamala Harris would be the tiebreaker. But we have 2 senators in the Democratic Party that are holding it up. Senators Joe Manchin of West Virginia and Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona. Joe Manchin is like, oh, I don't want it to be too expensive, or I want to remove the child tax credit thing from it, or like he keeps grasping at things he wants to remove. Kyrsten Sinema, we don't even know what she wants. So the chance of the Build Back Better bill passing, we don't know. That one is kind of in the air, but the infrastructure bill has passed, and roads and bridges are going to be fixed that have been in decay for decades plus. So that is the update on the bills. Any questions, anyone? Nope.
So
needs a
I
job
have
as
a
a
question.
moderator on CNN, man. That's what we need. That's what we need to do.
So
real.
my follow-up question, and this is how stupid politicians can be sometimes. So you mean to tell me the Congressional Budget Office, which is completely neutral, independent, not affiliated with any party, has said that this bill that's stuck is actually going to help the deficit over a 10-year period, and it's stuck?
Yeah.
Because of some
And
other
you
crap.
know what? Well, yeah. So outside of Democrat versus Republican, because Republicans are not going to vote for it because you don't want to be seen as giving Biden a win. So actually, the infrastructure bill actually did get 13 Republicans in the House to vote for it, and the House Republicans are actively talking about stripping those Republicans that voted for it of their duties, of their what do you call it? Their
Like
committees.
their committee seats.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, because you voted for this thing, we want to strip you of your committees. Now, this happened the same week.
Like they did Cheney?
Like they did Liz Cheney, yes. This happened the same week that Paul Gosar of Arizona tweeted a video from, it was the anime's Attack on Titan, and they superimposed his face on one of the scouts from the shows that has like 2 swords, and they superimposed Alexandria Cortez's face on a Titan, and it shows him going and basically killing her, and then turning his gaze towards the big colossal Titan where they superimposed Biden's face on. So in the workplace, this guy basically says he used taxpayers' money because his staff did it to say that I want to kill AOC, and it's all jokes. They voted to not censure that guy, but in that same week, they decided they're going to censure, or they're going to strip people of their committee assignments because they dared to vote for an infrastructure bill. So you can see what the priorities are, when it comes to politics. Yeah. So the CBO said that it's going to reduce the deficit over 10 years. As far as the Democrats are concerned, I really don't understand why they're so against it. People say, well, Manchin and Sinema benefit from the coal and oil lobbyists, and since this Build Back Better bill is focusing on clean energy, donors benefit. So people are saying that's probably what the issue is, but I mean, yeah, it's frustrating, but it's also politics, right?
Yeah,
gotta love it.
Yeah. So I got a question
Zeus,
for you, Zino.
We lost your video, Zeus.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah. So I got a question for you on how do you think? What do you think the ramifications? And I think ramifications is the right word.
Okay.
For the 2022 elections, I already predict that we're gonna that the Republicans are gonna sweep the Republicans are gonna be the majority on both houses. That's my prediction.
There's a big things are pointing towards that the Republicans are going to take over the Senate and the House, right? Which is why it's important, whether it's for Biden's legacy or just for if you want infrastructure and stuff to be put at the forefront, to have these things passed now before the 2022 midterms. I actually think that this isn't going to have an effect on the Democrats' chances of winning the midterms, because a lot of the effects of these things that they're passing won't be seen for years, right? Like, I mean, unless you're actively looking at that one road on Windy Hill that constantly has potholes, and you're actively looking at it being fixed because of, and then they put up a sign, hey, this was paid for by the infrastructure bill. Unless you're like that in tune with it, I don't think you will notice the benefits of it without the benefit of hindsight, So I think the Democrats will lose in 2022. It's just the cycle of how things go, right? People are like, oh,
and Republicans do a better job of turning out for the midterms than the Democrats
you're right,
anyway.
because there's nothing exciting. Honestly, Democrat voters, they have to be convinced to go out to vote. They have to be convinced. Like, when the reason why Barack Obama was a historical youth turnout was just because he got the youth vote excited, right? The reason why Joe Biden won the most votes ever was just because Donald Trump was that polarizing that other voters came. But in 2022, it's the midterm elections. People don't. Democrats don't pay attention to the midterm elections.
Key election here,
even though they don't realize how important those are towards the general elections 2 years later.
Easy just brought up a good point. There is a key election in Georgia, and that's going to drive out turnout in Georgia, which could help the Democrats in Georgia because Warnock is also on the ballot. But there's a governor's race in 2022.
Right.
It might be Kemp, it might be Herschel. No, Herschel Walker is running for Senate. It might be there's someone that Trump
Vernon
is
Jones.
endorsing. Vernon Jones, thank you. Yes. It might be one of them representing the Republicans, and then on the Democratic side could be Stacey Abrams. It could be someone else.
It's gonna be Kim.
No, talking
Kim's
about the
not
Democrats.
Gonna let anybody else try to come in and beat him. Like,
no.
Kim is not gonna let go of power
on the Democratic side.
On the Democratic side, Democratic primary.
I mean,
I'm just saying on the Republican side, I don't think Vernon Jones is even gonna be a problem. It's gonna be Kim.
I don't know.
I don't know. He's backed by Trump, so that's the only thing that would concern me. I made a call. I thought Keisha Lance Bottoms would run, but I don't think that call is going to be correct because I keep hearing that Stacey Abrams is going to, hey, I helped Joe Biden and Warnock and Ossoff get elected, so I'm going to use that conglomerate that I built to help myself win. So that's what I've heard, that she's going to put her name back in the hat.
Yeah, I think she should. I mean, she was really close last time. I think
she should be our governor now.
And there's going to be scrutiny on that race, right? So anything that looks on towards, they're going to it's going to be microscopic. It's going to be
I think any other state outside of Georgia is going to have some tough turnout numbers, but Georgia will, I mean, to be honest, I don't know. I guess Herschel Walker is the only candidate going against Warnock right now, but Warnock was actually more popular than Ossoff anyway.
Yeah. When you look at the January 5th results.
You want to know why that?
Well, even if you look at January 5th, there were a lot of people that were okay with voting for Perdue, but voting for Ossoff. I mean, voting for
Warnock.
Warnock in those elections. So I'm interested.
He's got a few things going for him here. One of them is that he's a preacher. At the end of the day, in the Deep South, a man of God will always be given a little bit of,
especially when it's at Martin Luther King's old church.
And you're talking about a Southern Baptist preacher of anything, more than anything. I'm like, this dude's got, and not only that, but he also, I think he reaches both sides. So he has God on his side for the Republicans that might be swing voters, right? He's got Jesus. And then the other part is, and me and Zino talked about this. He seems a little progressive-ish too, right? Me and Zino mentioned, I was like, yo, I get a little bit of, Warnock gives me, he might not be progressive, but he gives you a little bit of progressive vibes, which will bring in the Democrat, much more left-leaning people. They'll be like, all right, he's not ideal maybe, but I'll vote for him because he doesn't seem to be, at least he's not, trying to be like a Manchin where he's like, I'm really a conservative. I'm just running under the Democrat Party because I think people should be able to smoke weed.
Yeah, there's a third part to that too, and that's that he was running against Kelly Loeffler. Purdue, if
Hugely
you guys
unpopular.
remember, yeah, Purdue did not do any debates. And I think that worked to his benefit. Kelly Loeffler did do that debate. Remember, radical liberal Raphael Warner, or whatever she
Yeah.
was saying. And she
Radical
looked,
left.
yeah, she looked
Well,
robotic.
first of all, to Zeno's point, her performance was terrible. And the
Yeah.
only thing that came out of that for her was sound bites that were used against her.
Yeah,
And
yeah, exactly.
her lack of preparation, because all you got from her debate performance was that Raphael Warnock was basically Fidel Castro.
Right,
basically.
right,
That's
right. Yeah. So
And they cut up that one time bite for him. Goddamn America.
yeah, yeah. And you know, it's like at the end of the day, it's still the South. I know it's 2021 or 2022 when the race happens. Oh no, sorry, 2020 when the race happened. But the South voting for a woman for senator is still kind of like a snowflake in the summer sort of thing. It's happened in some places. McCaskill in Missouri is one I can think of. But,
Mary Landrieu in Louisiana. She had a long run.
yeah. So, but Georgia has never elected a woman to the Senate. Kelly Loeffler was there because she was appointed by Kemp.
Correct.
So
Which backfired on his part.
Yes, yeah. Actually, because I think Trump wanted that one guy.
Trump wanted Doug
Collins. Doug Collins.
Doug
yes.
Collins.
Right.
And Kemp argued that, oh, we're losing white suburban women of wealth, so I'm gonna put one. I'm gonna put one of those in the office so we can get white suburban women who have money to vote for her and kind of get us back where we need to go, and that obviously backfired on.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean,
I don't see that. You're gonna alienate some voters when you're like, okay, we're gonna literally appoint this person who's gonna be. She didn't win an election, but she's gonna be the richest person in the Senate, or there's in the House, in the Senate.
Senate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's gonna be the richest person in the Senate. Obviously, you guys can understand how she is. You know, y'all get her life. You know, because she's the richest person ever. You know, it's like,
relatability.
You guys are so damn disconnected from people. You know, it's just ridiculous.
It was definitely a miscalculation. But yeah, fingers crossed that we get some turnout in Georgia. But nationwide, I don't think there's going to be a turnout. To Zeus's point, like people don't care about midterms, and it's always easy to be like, well, this party is in power, and I feel like my life is still crap, so I'm going to vote for this other party without doing any research. So Republicans are going to win in the midterms. Yeah, that's how it rolls. So we just got to pass everything we want to pass. I say we, as in the royal we, but everything we want to pass right now before the midterms.
I'm on camera.
So yeah,
I'm here.
That's it for those two bills.